Alright, so it's me again. I know it's been a minute since I actually hit y'all up, but you know, I wanted to get back into the whole video making process. As you can see, I'm in a different environment. Uh, but the title of this video is gonna be called "You Owe It to Your Ancestors." You really owe it to your ancestors. And the reason why I'm coming up with that video title is because, I mean, think about it. Without our ancestors, none of us would even be here. So it's really important from time to time to just think about how many things have to take place in order for you to actually come into existence. Um, in my case, I look back at old pictures of, let's say, like my grandfather, my great grandfather, and even before then. And I see that they weren't slaves, they were well to do black businessmen and entrepreneurs who had their own thing going on. And if I listen to what my grandfather told me years ago before he passed, it was that our family was very well to do and was highly affected by the Great Depression. Right? So, my grandfather was in the military. He did like 30 years or like 4 or 5 years in the Army. Then he did, 20 something years, I want to say 25, 26 years in the Air Force, totaling for like 30 plus years honorable military service. And the reason why I bring this up for anybody who's watching this video is because when I look in the mirror and think about where I come from, how I was raised, the values that I was taught as a little kid that carried me over well into my adulthood, it's that I owe it to my ancestors to always be the best version of myself. Because even though they might not exist in this physical realm anymore, they do live on through me, through my genes, through the blood that's flowing through my veins. And I feel like the DNA that is allowing me to have some type of consciousness in this realm is nothing more than a collective database of all of the things that were experienced by my ancestors before I came into existence. So now that I'm here and I know that I will ultimately pass away, it's like really imperative for me, at least in the way I think, to be the best version of myself. And that's physically, mentally, emotionally, financially, spiritually, literally across the board. you know I travel to different places around the world, and some people maybe never seen a black American in their life, and then they come across me and I get to divulge where I'm from, and they get to now look at a split screen of the propaganda, the stereotypes, the movies that they've seen, the music that they listen to, and they get to do a cross reference to the person that they see in the flesh, which in this case would be me. And I get to literally destroy all illusions that person might have been living under and flip the paradigm of what they expect a black person to be like. Now, given we're talking about colors, and I find this shit kind of silly, but I'm an ambassador not only for my ancestors, not only for myself, not only for even my wife, since I'm an extension of her and I represent her since she's my partner, but I also represent my entire race of black Americans for all those people who I cross around the world. So it's a heavy responsibility, but I'm glad I'm, let's say, cognizant enough to understand that whatever I do as a black American has a ripple effect on all black Americans, for people who will never go to America and, let's say, judge every black person they come across. Like, some people will never even be able to access the United States. They're looking at TikTok, they're looking at Instagram, they're looking at movies, basketball, football, baseball, wherever black people are prominent, or maybe wherever we're the most ratchet. Like when you look at World Star Hip Hop, that's where they're getting their understanding of what black people are. They're looking at the general collective identity that we all share. So the reason why I'm making this video real quick is to let everybody know, like, you can live however you want. But for the people that are following my channel, I want you to take on the understanding that it's not just about you. You know what I'm saying? It's about you as far as the life that you want to live, and I want you to make a vision and gun for whatever it is that make your soul light up and ignite with passion and fire. But I also want you to understand that your decorum, the way that you walk, talk, act, behave, and treat other people in this world does have a ripple effect. And I'm no saint. I am a person who here and there has hurt people or said things that left people emotionally in turmoil, or maybe the way that I carried myself in certain situations, I came off as arrogant or narcissistic or what have you. We're all trying individuals who are nowhere near perfect. We're gonna hurt people along the way, unfortunately. And for anybody I may have hurt or crossed wrong in the past, like, know that maybe at my level of consciousness that I had back then, it happened for that reason, that I was ignorant of my impact on whoever I may have hurt. In the state of consciousness that I now reside in, it's like I'm still a trying individual. I still have imperfections and all of that. But at the end of the day, evolution is a constant process. Self-improvement should have the average person so busy that they don't really have time for the shenanigans or the drama, the gossip, the propaganda, like the talking points that I feel the elites want you to be so consumed with, where you're out of touch with what's really happening for your own self. So I don't even want to make this video too long. I'm gonna conclude very shortly, but I just really accept the charge of upholding my entire ancestors with the way that I maneuver out in the world. And I want anybody who's watching this video to understand that it's not just about you. You wouldn't be here in existence if it wasn't for the occurrence of so many different people in past lives to have come together when they came together and created the life that spawned another life and then another life, and then it kept going forward until now you stand here. You are a culmination, amalgamation of so many different people that already existed. You have no idea what they've been through, the traumatic experiences, or even their major successes that they enjoyed while they were on this plane. You know what I'm saying? I look back at pictures for real, and there's uncles who passed away in the 70s, but I see so much of my likeness in them, or vice versa. You know what I mean? There's people who died long ago that I have the same nose, I have the same maybe laugh or mimic, or and when you think about even on both sides of the family, like I could look like a cross between uncle on my dad's side and an uncle on my mom's side. It could be an aunt that has my exact color, and then on my dad's side it has my exact eye shape when I laugh or whatever. Like, it's so interesting to think about how we all came into existence. It's such a miraculous thing when you actually take the time to think about it. So I know for me, on my journey, as I'm gunning for all of my long-term goals and objectives, and I'm seeking purpose in life, and I'm creating my own, let's say, way of navigating the world by cultivating my own masculinity, developing into the man that I think I should be, and also, once again, reading books and taking wisdom from so many different valuable sources. I understand that it's my duty to be an example, a living, breathing 2.0 version of my ancestors, because they actually live within me. So it's like I'm doing them a disservice if I decide that I want to go the wrong path in life, or if I decide I want to shirk responsibilities or do anything that would impact my integrity. It's all about just gunning for what you believe in, but also understanding that it's not about what's happening when everybody's eyes are locked on you. You have a soul, you have a higher self. you have your ancestors who came together to create you, you know. So it's like a cosmic exam that we're all every single day taking, you know, and it's an endless exam until the day that you pass away. So, you know, wrapping up this video, you owe it to your ancestors to be the best version of yourself. It's not just about you. I'll holler at you on the next one.